thread through the scriptures. The first book of the Old Testament opens with it, and the last book of the New Testament closes with it. And the major prophets have this privilege of viewing the heavenly scene of God sitting upon his throne, surrounded by numberless concourses of angels, exactly as Lehi does. That's the theme. The idea of a real council ran counter to the prevailing doctrines of the schools, however, especially the University of Alexandria, so they took them out of the scriptures. They intellectualized them, they suppressed them, they demythologized them. They did everything they could to get rid of them. This was what Josiah's reform also did in ancient times. In the Book of Mormon, these teachings burst forth again. They sweep us back into a long-forgotten world. Lending their voices to the mix, we have the newly discovered Coptic texts, and the growing Mandean Manichaean corpus, and the Dead Sea Scrolls. The singer in the Thanksgiving hymns is simply ecstatic. He is the counterpart of the Book of Mormon prophet Zenos, who found himself in the same plight as Lehi did. He was distressed by the wickedness of the Jews of Jerusalem and their hostility to his teachings. So what happens? He has a vision of the counsel of God. In heaven, the same thing as Zenos did. Here's what the singer in the Dead Sea Scrolls Thanksgiving hymn says. He says, "Thou hast caused me to mount up to an eternal height, and to walk in an inconceivable exaltation. And I know that there is hope for everyone whom thou didst form in the dust, in the presence of the eternal assembly." See, this is the council of the gods. "To be counted with the host of the saints, and to have the society of the congregation of the sons of heaven. Thou didst appoint unto man an eternal share with the spirits that know, to praise thy name in joyful unison with them." See, there's the song of praise and all. Well, this is right out of the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is the same thing that we find in the first chapter of Nephi. Isn't that fascinating? No matter what befalls, all is well with the righteous, because all is going according to God's plan. That was the point of seeing the heavenly council. See, Jerusalem is being threatened. It's going to be destroyed. It's problematic. It causes heartburn for the prophets, but they see this vision and they say, I see. Okay, well, then I have to go warn the inhabitants. That is what Lehi and Nephi and Alma and Mosiah and King Benjamin, all of the prophets did that. So, Lehi starts in with his heavenly journey, a vision which he thought he saw God sitting on his throne. Here we are taken back to a council in heaven as a fitting prologue to a religious history. See, it's right up front. Nephi chapter 1. This is the beginning that sets the stage for the rest of the Book of Mormon. It begins with the council of the gods. Fascinating. That's so beautiful. A decision is reached in the council, and it's hailed with a great acclamation of joy, after which the session breaks up, various parties going about the business of carrying out their assignments and implementing the plan, of course, the plan prepared from the foundation of the world. That's the idea. So here we glimpse a concept of a heaven wholly alien to the conventional teachings of the Jewish and the Christian doctors, who can think of nothing better than Athanasius' pictures of meetings going on and singing hymns, but nothing happening. That's the wrong concept. So, the interesting thing about Lehi's vision, this is on page 187 now of Nibley's book, the interesting thing about Lehi's vision is that it carries through to the dismissal of the meeting, after which he saw one descending out of the midst of heaven, and he also saw 12 others following them. This image of the star is the main image given in the ancient Near East as the theme of the righteous people as stars. And so that kind of gives us our prologue. The Book of Mormon begins with a bang, a strictly authentic ancient Near Eastern conception of religion, of politics, of history, of prophecy. The whole kip and caboodle in the first chapter. So that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to give you on the first chapter. And now I'll move on to the second chapter, and we'll keep right on boogieing through the Book of Mormon. But, wow. There's an enormous amount of information. There's an enormous amount of ideas in that first chapter that we normally don't get. I mean, how long does it take you to read it? 3 minutes? You can read it in 3 minutes. You go, oh, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, but when you flesh it out, you begin to see all kinds of things going on. You see all kinds of interweavings of themes and ideas that just mesh together to give you the perfect foundation for the launching of a new civilization and the beginning of their record keeping with that process. It's phenomenal.